Jeez, guys, jeez. Second week in a row. Second week, my nerves are shot. I don't know how anybody's sleeping at the moment. It's now about 12 o'clock midnight in South Africa. The game's just finished a little while back. I'm still trying to just calm myself down. Wow. How do you win a game from being 15-6 down with like 7-8 minutes to go? Wow, Springboks, wow. Unflippin' believable. Unflippin' believable. Try not to swear here, but geez, that is just one of those games that the great escape. How did they do that? Jeez. Yeah. I still can't believe it, I must admit. I think we're all sitting around here thinking after last week we sat here and I thought, geez, how did they do that? How did they do that? And now they've done it again. Wow, they're into the World Cup final. So where does one start? Well, I suppose it'd be an understatement to say this is probably one of the worst Springbok performances I've seen in a while. Flattest Springbok performance I've seen in ages. Geez, they just didn't look up for it. They just looked, their work rate was low. They just body language, everything was just off. And in contrast, England were absolutely exceptional. They played the perfect tactical game. They kept the box pinned with the kicks. The box kept them kicking on Freddie Stewart, who was never going to miss a kick at all, and up and under. And they really beat the box at the aerial game. Now, this is the type of game that we would see the Springboks play a couple of years ago, and the rest of the world would say anti-rugby and all this sort of chirps that we get. Well, nobody complained about that tonight if they were English. It was very effective, and it put the box off the game. It upset their rhythm. It was really the type of game plan that was needed in the conditions. And really, for England to have a chance, they needed to keep it an arm wrestle. I don't know if they try to play it wide against the box. I think the box probably have a bit more firepower out wide and are probably used to scoring a bit more tries. And my biggest worry going into the game was that this is going to be like Wales 2019. This is going to be an arm wrestle. This is going to be a game where the Boks are going to look bad and really struggle to win. And it was. And for most of that game, seriously, I didn't think the Boks were in it. I thought at a stage, around about 65 minutes when Owen Farrell put the drop goal through, I thought that was it for the Boks. I thought they were going to go out the tournament and really had nobody but themselves to blame. They looked flat. They looked as if last week's game took so much out of them that they really couldn't get themselves up. And maybe it was a bit of a wrong call to keep the same team, but I suppose when it works out like this, it works out. So you can't really blame that. From the start, England looked sharper, they looked faster, they looked more in tune with the game, they looked more, what's the word I'm looking for, they looked more focused, steely focused. They looked like a team that wanted to win, they looked like a team that wanted to prove a point. And the Boks really just made mistake after mistake after mistake, and England just, there was no line-out. I think it was probably one of the poorer games for Bongi in terms of the line-out. They had no line-out platform. They had three calls against them for skew line-outs. They lost a number of line-outs. Their scrum didn't get the dominance they wanted. Got a sort of feeling that Steven Kitsoff might be a bit overplayed. He looks tired, but him and France didn't get the sort of reward that they normally get in these games. And it was only later on when the reserves came that everything sort of changed for the Springboks. But for England just played an exceptional game. They made the Boks look ordinary. They made them look bad. And they took their points when it mattered. And you got to give them credit for that. Alex Mitchell was great behind the scrum and behind the rucks. And Owen Farrell kicked exceptionally well. Their wingers chased. Daly and Johnny May chased exceptionally well, beat the Boks in the air a lot of the times. It's quite interesting because I was thinking about the midfield tonight. Did we have a midfield? Midfield's normally like the cauldron where everything happens, and I think all four centres or midfielders could probably have gone and sat in the stands tonight. The ball didn't come to them very much. And if it didn't come to the midfielders, then it never went to the wings. So, the outside backs really didn't have much of a chance other than fielding up and unders. And a lot of the Boks tactical kicking was pretty poor. It was too long. It didn't put much pressure on the opposition. And England's, in contrast, put a lot of pressure on the Boks, and England got a lot of those balls back. So, all in all, at 65 minutes, I was thinking, yeah, geez, the Boks are on their way out. England are doing everything right. They're playing tactically the perfect game, and the Boks are just not responding. And then we started seeing the change. We saw it first in the scrums with Oxenchair coming on. Later, Vincent Koch joined him, and that's when it really changed, I think. Dion Fourie and Kwagga Smith brought energy. Just Eric Snyman is just a colossus. He's just an amazing athlete. But yeah, I mean, if you look at when we started, the first substitution that was made was after 31 minutes, taking Manie Libbok off. Now, I want to say that you look at Manie's stats, he had 4 kicks. He made the 2 tackles that were asked of him. He didn't miss a tackle. He had the 1 kick for poles, which he slotted. So it wasn't like he had a bad game. It's just that I think the Boks, and you can't really blame him for the rubbish that he was being served up. He was only as good as the ball he was getting, and the ball he was getting was pretty poor. So when you look at it, Kobus Reinach wasn't great either. Both of them really didn't have much to work with, and they were under pressure the whole time from the England forwards. So I felt a bit for Manie being pulled off. I understand the reason was tactical. I understand they wanted to put Andre Pollard on, and they needed a flower who can dictate the game. Manie wasn't doing that at that stage, but it wasn't like he was having a bad game. So it was a big call to make. I'm not sure it's the greatest look, but I suppose in the end, when it works, that's what matters, and everything for the team. So I think we're going to probably debate this for a while to come. But yeah, so that was the first substitution. But okay, later on, when Dwayne and Sia went off, you saw there was a bit more energy with Kwagga and Dion Fourie, and when Ox came on, the scrum suddenly started to change. Bongi looked like he had more confidence as well. And when Vincent Koch came on, the scrums really started dominating. The Boks started winning penalties. I still didn't think they had enough time or enough in them to get over the win, but that try they scored with Dion Fourie breaking away, exceptional. Taking the moment for what it was and Erkes name on scoring. I thought for all England's domination, they probably should have been further ahead. And the fact that they weren't is probably what played into the Boks' hands at the end of the day. And after that try, South Africa were a different team. You could see it. You could almost sense that penalty was coming. And I know on Twitter, I've had a lot of English fans saying to me it shouldn't have been a penalty. Yeah, those are the way the ref saw it. I didn't think Ben O'Keefe had a bad game. I didn't think he had a great game. I think he was under a lot of pressure from both sides. Especially with the French crowd giving him so much stick, and the English crowd as well. So I think he handled it pretty well. I think it was a real pressure cooker. I've got no doubt we're probably going to get Wayne Barnes in the final now for South Africa and New Zealand. He's the most obvious choice. Matthew Reynolds the only other one, but he wasn't that good against. I've heard from some ref contacts of mine that he maybe did himself a bit of harm with his performance in the England-Fiji game. So I think it's probably going to be Wayne Barnes. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I think that scrum, you almost felt the Boks were going to get that scrum and they were going to get that penalty no matter what. And then that absolutely magnificent kick from Andre Pollard. Well done. That's BMT shining through 100%. We did it last week against France with a big kick. I had no doubt when he lined it up that it was going to go over. So yeah, you got to feel for England. This is heartbreaking for them. They played an exceptional game. There's a lot of people that probably would say to me, but did they deserve it to be there? They had the easier draw. They were unbeaten. They did what they had to do. You know, South Africa's won World Cups by not playing any of the big teams either, the way the draw's just fallen for you. So you can never really blame that. But they were exceptional in what they did. But at the end of the day, the South African reserves came through for them. Oxenchair, you can give that guy the freedom of whatever city you want. In fact, he loves cake so much. Buy him a French patisserie. Let him live in France if that's the way he's going to scrum for us. What a performance by him and Vincent Koch. Both of them were absolutely flippin' marvellous. Yeah, I still don't know how they won that. And for somebody like me who's covered rugby for so long, and to still get surprised by the way they win games, this is an absolutely amazing side. It's going to be a side for a generation. They'll be remembered for generations. And whatever happens in the final against New Zealand, I think they've done their task. I think they're going to go in now as underdogs after this performance. especially after what the All Blacks did. The All Blacks are already hitting their straps. You know, people can point to Twickenham, but just before Twickenham, the All Blacks beat the Boks quite easily in Auckland. And before that, they beat the Boks quite easily at Ellis Park the year before. And that after the Boks beat them quite easily in Mbombela and Nelspruit. So it's going to be an exceptionally difficult game either way. It's a World Cup final. It's an equaliser no matter what. And we haven't had a BOK New Zealand World Cup final since 1995. The great Jonah Lomu final, and Joel Stransky with his drop goals and Andrew Mertens. So, yeah, probably think a bit more about the final in the week to come. I think for now, though, you have to just say, what a game, what a win, what a comeback, what a wow. I suppose I could easily put a number of superlatives to describe it, but I'm just going to say, how the hell did they win that? Anyway, this is a quick sort of take from me. Yeah, to let me know what you thought. Let me know where you thought it was won or lost and what England could have done otherwise. But that's where we are. Springbok All Black World Cup final. Thanks for watching. And please try and go to sleep. I don't know how I'm going to go to sleep after this. I'm just trying to get my nerves back to normal. And it still happens here after you've watched rugby for so long. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll chat to you soon. Cheers.